The biggest festival of the year now extended. It's CNN_Deals Fest. It's your last chance for exclusive deals in home, beauty, cooking, and more. CNN_Deals Fest. Shop now at underscore.com/dealsfest.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Welcome to Inside Politics. I'm Dana Bash in Washington, and we are following breaking news. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is expected to leave his post in the Trump administration as National Security Advisor. It is the first top staff shakeup of President Trump's second term. Of course, Waltz has been in a precarious position with the president after he accidentally added a reporter to a group chat about upcoming military strikes. We're going to get right to this. Here with me now is CNN's Caitlin Collins, alongside CNN's Jeff Zeleny, Dasha Burns of Politico, and Mario Parker of Bloomberg. Caitlin, what are you hearing from your sources?
I mean, this is a surprise to no one at this table who's been covering the White House. Mike Waltz has not had good standing with the White House ever since Signalgate happened, when he inadvertently added a reporter to that group chat, and then later sensitive military information was shared on this group chat. He's really never had super strong standing inside the White House. I mean, I remembered this morning, someone predicted to me back during the transition, before Trump even took office, that Mike Waltz would likely be the first one to go. And now he is marking the first major staff departure of President Trump's second term. And really, his job has kind of been in limbo all week. We had heard earlier this week that something going on with him. Officials insisted to us yesterday that his job was safe. But there was a moment that CNN saw on Tuesday when the president was going to Michigan on his 100 days in office. And Mike Waltz, we noticed, traveled on Marine One with him. But 10 minutes later, you see it in Joint Base Andrews. That's his figure. He does not get on Air Force One. It's only about a 10-minute flight, so it's extremely odd to take the helicopter flight and then not actually go on the trip. I was told he was not supposed to go on the trip. And so people raised questions about what this moment.
As there's, the possibility for Trump going on a foreign trip in the coming months or so. Kate?
Yeah, exactly. And already the responsibilities just as Secretary of State that Marco Rubio has before him. It's good to see you, Kylie. Thank you so much. Omar?
Okay, joining me now is Christine Quinn, President and CEO of the group WIN. She's also the Executive Committee Chair of the New York State Democratic Committee, and Neil Chatterjee, a Republican strategist. Thank you both for being here. Christine, I'll start with you because I guess the question is, and we heard this from some Senate Democrats, congressional Democrats, do you think Trump is holding the wrong guy accountable here? Essentially, do you believe it should have been Hegseth, as some Democratic colleagues have implied?
Yeah, look, there's no question Waltz did something wrong, but the bigger person to blame here is absolutely Senator Hegseth. And the question is, why not? Why hasn't he been removed from his position? We now have seen him twice go on an unsecure network onto Signal, give away important confidential military information. It kind of boggles the mind why you would make Waltz the fall guy and not do anything. In fact, continue to put out praise and how much you think he's doing a good job. Why won't the president hold Hegseth accountable? He's in one of the most important positions at a time when the world is very, very volatile. You don't want someone who doesn't even follow basic protocols in that position.
And look, Vice President J.D. Vance considers this a promotion. But I will ask you, Neil, I mean, where do you fall on this here? I mean, clearly some feel it was really Hegseth that did much more wrong over this saga. I mean, just where do you feel in this personnel shakeup here?
Look, from my perspective, I'm viewing this optimistically in that former Senator Rubio, Secretary Rubio, is now taking on more responsibility. Look, he is someone who is tremendously respected, has experience, who can take this on. I am not concerned about his ability to manage these various different responsibilities. So my focus is on where we're going forward from here, rather than looking back on who should be the fall guy or whatnot. What's happening going forward? And I think having Secretary Rubio assume this responsibility is very good for the American people.
I want to follow up as well on a different topic because we're waiting for these jobs numbers to come out in a little, Neil. But a lot of economic indicators that the president has essentially said, trust me on this. Tariffs might have some temporary pain now, but trust me on this. A lot of Republicans now saying wait for the trade deals. We haven't gotten any news of any concrete steps in trade deals just yet. But I guess my question is, how much of a test are the next few weeks for the president here, who styles himself as a master deal maker in the face of a lot of Americans who are trying to figure out when some of their economic pains will be eased?
Yeah, it's huge. And I got to be honest, the uncertainty about what the end game here is with the tariffs is having a huge chilling effect on investment. Look, I'm somebody who is in the energy space. We have huge opportunity in energy. We're about to see an unprecedented surge in demand for electricity driven by AI and data centers and the opportunity that we have there. And you've got technologies like solar and storage that can meet that demand, but the uncertainty about the tariffs is leading to like a freeze in investment, and that is going to have a potentially chilling effect on the economy. We need certainty, we need clarity, we need to see what the end game is here, and we need it ASAP.
And Christine, one of the things, and I asked Congressman Gottheimer this a little bit earlier, is that with all of this uncertainty, and Trump's popularity has declined slightly since he was inaugurated. Do you feel Democrats have been able to actually capture on sort of things trending in the wrong direction, or at the very least uncertainty for the president here? Because we've seen approval ratings for the leader of the party, Schumer and Jeffries. Yeah, but I mean, not great at all. So what needs to sort of change here from the Democratic side?
Well, I think what we're seeing is Democrats really now being on a better footing, getting out there and really fighting back. I mean, if you look at the crowds that Bernie Sanders and AOC have gotten, they're enormous. People full of tremendous energy. And I think as we're seeing different races like the New Jersey governor's race and other races across the country, we're hearing from voters, stand strong, fight back, don't roll over to Donald Trump. And as that continues, I think we're going to see more Democratic victories at local levels, and that will just keep ramping up to next year in the congressional elections.
And last thing before we go, Neil, on that front, the president is one thing, but Elon Doge has been very tied, at least in the initial 100 days, to what the president has sort of pushed for. Do you see the Doge efforts as a political liability to the president pushing forward? I just wonder how you see the relationship between sort of those two arenas.
Yeah, look, I think I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative. Republicans have long called for government efficiency. I ran a federal agency in the first Trump administration. Are there efficiencies that could be had within government? Most certainly. They've just got to be more effective in how they go about it. I think the problem with Doge to date, and Elon has really taken a lot of the attention and the heat from it, is that they've been wielding a hatchet where they just need to be smarter about it. Are there effective efficiencies that can be had in government? Absolutely. You gotta be smart about it. You just can't wield a hatchet. There's too many unintended consequences. I think that's been part of the problem. I think Elon receding from the scene and allowing the cabinet officials to find efficiencies within their agencies is going to be a much better approach.
Christine Quinn, Neil Chatterjee, I have to leave it there. But thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it. Kate?
China now talking about talking, the new word from Beijing, and what it could mean for the standoff between Trump and China and this trade war.